Hello, good evening. I hope you had a wonderful conference so far. I have the pleasure today to speak about rapid digitization of manufacturing supply chain. Before I start, please let me introduce myself. I'm Dustin Kraus from P3. P3 is a consulting company with more than 1,800 employees, and we have offices all around the world. And yeah, we see each other as consultants and engineers, so we design solutions and we implement them as well. And one of our key areas of activity is operations and supply chain management. This is where I am located. So we optimize supply chain, we optimize productions, we manage them. And my part is I digitize them. And yeah, I would like to speak about today how digitization can help here with supply chain, how it can make them better, and give you a couple of insights how this can be done in a rapid and resource-friendly way. But before I start, I would like to speak about a couple of challenges that we as consultants see at non-digitized supply chains. When we come there, we're usually firefighters. So there's a problem in the supply chain when a client calls us. He wants us to stabilize it, he wants us to manage it. So what we see is lack of transparency and traceability. So often there is no data available, or the data is very unstructured and there is no trace of, for example, how many parts were actually delivered to a client, how many days on hand are still in the warehouse. Huge problem to analyze. How should you actually do optimization measures if you don't have good data? Next is what we see. There's high administrative effort and a lot of manual processes because digital tools are not used. So, for example, quality inspection done on paper. You wouldn't believe how often I actually still see that. And this then obviously leads to delays and shortages. And the shortages, this is actually the part when we get called most of the time, because there is a massive problem in the supply chain, and we should stabilize that then. This is obviously the worst case scenario because this leads to lack of trust. Supply chain relies a lot of trust between the participants, and this is then missing and goes away. And we have bad communication between the supply chain partners like OEM and suppliers. And finally, we see difficulties at quality and the quality control. So most of the tier N suppliers we have to be honest, those are small to medium-sized businesses. So they don't have like 1,000 developers just sitting there and waiting for a supply chain digitization use case to be implemented. So these companies they have restrictions. They have time restrictions, they have budget restrictions, and they have know-how restrictions. Sometimes they don't even know how to do the digitization. So the question is now, because digitization helps mostly all of these issues, how can they still do it? And I would like to present 4 tools today that we as a consulting company have actually used as well to do a rapid supply chain digitization. The first one is smart IoT hardware. So there's a lot of hardware, I have seen it in the exhibition, a lot of hardware in the market that is made for industrial IoT use cases. It comes with interfaces, it comes with library support, it comes with connectivity. So it helps massively reduce the implementation time of digitization projects. The next, software frameworks. We have to be honest, software developers are a big part of digitization projects. They're a limited asset. Software frameworks bundle mostly used functions and components into a framework and allow quicker deployment of software. So it's a great way of reducing the time to market. Next, platforms. I'm specifically talking about managed infrastructure platforms and secure data exchange platforms, because those providers like Microsoft, like Google, like AWS, they provide scalable infrastructure. This is way better than a data center in a plant or somewhere else, which is not very scalable. And these vendors, they invest a ton of money and a ton of resources to make that secure and scalable. Especially when it comes to data exchange, platforms like Catena-X or Gaia-X definitely help transferring data into the cloud, because I know there have been some holdbacks on a lot of companies to put actually sensual data into the cloud. And last tool is low-code. Low-code is a way to liberalize software development because it allows process owners and process engineers to contribute to the software development process, because these people, they have high know-how. This is a really valuable asset. And you have to somehow find a way to integrate them into the software development process. And with low-code editors, These people can contribute massively and make the product better. And we actually have used these 4 tools 7 years ago when we, as a consulting company, created our own product for rapid digitization of supply chains. It's actually a lightweight IoT solution. It has you can see that on the bottom, it has a suitcase. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring it today because my colleague who should bring it, he stranded in Munich because of the snow. So we have this little hardware part and we have a software part. And we actually used the smart IoT tool here and bundled IoT, industrial IoT ready hardware into the suitcase. So we can go, to the production line and just connect it to a machine and generate data. And with the software that was created using software frameworks, we can generate insights. And what was important for us, that we have a solution that can connect to any layer of the automation period. It doesn't matter if it's an ERP system or a sensor field bus level. We can connect to anything, and we named it Nexonic. And I would like to give you now a short introduction how this can be done. So when we look at an assembly line here, in this case, standard assembly line, so how would we proceed? First thing, what we do is we connect to the PLC with standard libraries, because PLCs are gold mines. The data is there, it's just not used. Next, we install current clamps for electric energy measurement. This is the first step to calculate product carbon footprint. Next point, we then install vibration sensors with pattern recognition. We heard it just with AI, with the AI speech, that this helps a lot. You can determine how the machine is running, if it's running wrong, if it's running not good, and generate data from that. We retrofit standard industry sensors. You wouldn't believe at how many companies I have been where part count is still done with manual counting by hands. I mean, just install sensors. This takes like 20, 30 minutes, and then you have an automated counter. It saves a lot of time. And to make the energy picture complete, we install gas and compressed air flow meters, and with that, we have all of the energy forms, and we can even calculate product-specific energy cost. And I'm not talking about averages. I'm speaking about exactly what energy was consumed when this part was produced. Last point is optical quality inspection, as well supported by AI, because this makes the process stable. A couple of real-life examples. So you can here see this is the low-code approach. This is actually a process engineer standing next to the cabinet and doing the coding. This is not a software developer. Software developer would never go into the production. And the automation engineer, in this case, he has the knowledge of the machine. He can efficiently program the data collection, and so that the software engineers can actually make use of that. A sensor retrofit it's very quickly done. It's reversible, so we just need to attach a few cables, and it doesn't take very long. So we're speaking about maybe a day of implementing these sensors, and then the data collection is there. And this is important because with the data collection, we generate insights. And this software that we have built is actually based on software frameworks, second tools. So we were much faster in the deployment of the software. With that, you can see a couple of dashboards here. We generate performance data, so OEE, warehouse levels, days on hands, typical KPIs you need to control your supply chain, quality data, inspection plans, how many bad parts did I have, everything calculated from this tool. And last but not least, energy data, so we can actually calculate a real product carbon footprint and real product energy consumption. And all this is hosted on a platform, because the platform is scalable and we don't have to take care of infrastructure because it's managed. So what are the benefits of the retrofit? So first thing, I think the most important one, when we're speaking about implementation, we're speaking about days and not months. Usually when I know IT projects that deal with this kind of topic, it's months to years. So usually when we get a call from a client, we generate data within 10 days. And this is because we use our resources efficiently. The low-code approach allows us to use engineers. We have a lot of engineers in the company that have process knowledge and process know-how. And we have software engineers, and we leverage both of them, we bring them together, and this is a perfect symbiosis of them working together. We have full transparency in a very quick way, so quick return on investment for our clients. And with the platforms, we can scale that to an entire supply chain and allow secure data exchange, like with platforms like Catena-X or Gaia-X. And with that, I would like to say thank you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, write me a message, drop me an email, or find me at the dinner. Thank you very much.